When I came to visit Keble on the open day, the thing that stood out to me was just how beautiful it is. Like, it's easily the best looking college in all of Oxford, and living there I never get tired of the view. I also remember visiting on open day and people were saying that like each college has a word that describes it, and the girl that I spoke to said Keble's the kind college, and I definitely stand by that.
When I think about unique and Keble in one sentence, what first brings to mind is the red brick design. Across the colleges, across the university, if you ask anyone about Keble, they've got that distinctive image about a red brick college, the Victorian architecture, the chapel, the main quad. So yeah, a red brick really shines through when you think about Keble. That is its most unique feature.
So it probably sounds quite cliche, but what I love most about Keble is the people. There's lots of people here from a different background who have different interests, but everyone is super lovely and we all get on so well. You can't really walk through college without finding someone to have a chat to for 5 or 10 minutes, which is really amazing.
I think for me personally, what's so unique about Keble is that never ever anywhere else in my life have I ever felt more welcomed or more felt a sense of belonging as much as I have at Keble.
The things that I love most about Keble, because I can't pick one, is 1, the architecture, and 2, the people. You won't get this kind of architecture anywhere else, and I think it's great going to a college that somewhat resembles lasagna, so that's something that's really fun to talk about. And the people in college as well are so lovely, they're so friendly, and I felt like it was the best environment for me to settle in when I first came to this uni.
Keble is such a unique place, it's full of so many unique people. It's also one of the largest colleges, but at the same time it's one of the friendliest, so you get to know most people in your year, but there's so many different people for you to make friends with. It's in a really great part of town. You're really close to a lot of libraries, a lot of clubs, a lot of food places. You're 5-minute walk from the city centre where sort of everything's happening, so you're never very far from the action.
Well, I like that it's big and I like that it's pretty. They have to sort of where we are right now is Hayward Quad, which is a really nice place to come and sit in the summer, which they open up to students. I like that there are lots of people here, so you can meet a lot more people than you would at smaller places. And I love my friends. I think that the friends I made here are incredible, and the thought that if I'd been somewhere else I might not have met them is quite strange, and I'm glad that I did.
I think my favourite thing about Keble is definitely the people. Like, everyone's just so nice, not just the students but with the tutors and the catering staff and the cleaning team and the chapel team. Like, everyone's just really lovely.
What I love most about Keble is probably the accommodation, just because it's so convenient. They offer accommodation for all 3 years of your degree, so it stops you having to look for a house with friends that you haven't really met yet in first year. I also like the community feel at Keble because we have quite a lot of group parties and stuff like that where the whole college gets involved.
What I think is unique about Keble is 1, the fact that we all live on site for 3 whole years, which not very many other colleges do. Some do, but most colleges you'll live on site for a couple of years and live out in a house for 1 year. Also, the Keble ducks that we have is pretty unique. I don't think any other college that I know of have ducks coming along each summer, and they're very cute.
My favourite aspect of Keble would be Keble Ball, which is basically like one huge party that happens every year. In terms of what goes on, there's like loads of stuff which is cool. The food is great, and yeah, it goes from like I think 8 p.m. till like 4 or 5 a.m. the next morning. Which is great, and like it's also optional to bring friends from other colleges or home. So yeah, it's just like a really good party.
What I probably like most about Keble is the sense of community. You kind of have a ready-made family within your college, and in the year above you have 2 people who are your college parents. So one of them does your subject, which is really good because if you have any subject-related questions, you can ask them about that. And it's also just really nice to have 2 people in the year above that kind of look out for you in your first year.
So I would say that probably the thing that I love most about Keble is the community. One of the great things about us being able to live in college for all 3 years is that you really get to know people, not just within your own year group, but all the other ones.
The thing that I think is unique about Keble is without doubt the people at the college. I've been so lucky to meet a diverse group of incredibly open-minded people. And very quickly after coming to Keble, I realised how much of a community feel there was at the college and how easy it was to feel like you fit in.
I found living in Keble actually really great. The transition from living with my parents to living alone went a lot smoother than I ever anticipated, and I really felt supported every step of the way.
The buildings, because they're just so beautiful. Anytime it's a sunny day or at night time, if I stand on the main quad, or particularly if I go into the chapel, I'm just overawed by how glorious and cathedral-esque they are, and that it's mine and I get to live there.
The thing that I love most about Keble is the welcoming atmosphere and just the sense of community the college has. Because I'm Muslim and because I'm from Pakistan, and so that makes me an international student, it's very easy to feel out of place and it's very easy to feel like you don't necessarily belong there. But I have not felt that for a second that I've been here at Keble, and it's been really, really lovely.
One of the things that has really stood out for me is that it's simultaneously a really close and tight-knit, but also inclusive, welcoming and outward-looking community. So at the same time, there are kind of bonds, very strong bonds between different people. There's a lot of interaction between all different layers of the college, from the students to the staff to the fellows. But at the same time as that, it's also outward-looking and inclusive and welcoming, and you really get a sense that it's somewhere that you can make a home.
I think what I like most about Keble is honestly the tutorials, is just sitting in a room with 2 or 3 other students and we learn from each other. It's an environment where it's very friendly, it's very relaxed. You tell me what you don't understand, we talk about it together, we try to come to an understanding together, and quite a lot of times I learn from you as well. For example, you tackle problems in a way I haven't seen because we're all individuals, we all think differently, and so that's what I enjoy most about Keble.
So I personally love music, and Keble's been an absolutely brilliant place for that. We've got a very active music community. A lot of it is centered around the chapel, which is an incredibly welcoming and warm space for anyone who wants to either partake in it musically or in any other capacity. And I think that adds a really other interesting personal dimension to life at Keble for me.
The thing I found at Keble throughout, whether interacting with the students, interacting with my fellow tutors, interacting with the warden and other people in the administration, is everybody here is incredibly nice and laid back. People are wonderful to talk to about all sorts of things, and this runs the gamut. I know undergrads who are not studying my subjects, who I see regularly in the quad and talk to every time I see them. My students are very nice. They're not uptight. They're not just here to get on to the next stage in their life, but they're interested in what's going on and they're open to things. I could not have imagined a place to be this easy to slide into and feel a part of, given the grandeur of Oxford and given what Oxford is in the world stage. I thought it was going to be much more difficult and much more intimidating, but in fact, I would never describe this place as intimidating in any way. I would describe it very genuinely as a community.